Every year, we make New Year resolutions and give up on them before March. And for the next 6 months or more, we go back to the old mode and continue to do whatever we did. But something curious happens around the month of October. We come to terms with the fact that time runs out faster than we think and the year is coming to an end. So we worry a lot and sometimes rush to finish some of them without even realizing that we are not really finishing anything at all. But in this video, we're going to talk about something called the October theory, an idea that helps you reset your resolution and build a runway into the new year, but without the burden of putting everything on the 1st of January. My name is Tenny Charles, and in this channel, we talk everything about self-improvement, productivity, and minimalism. Simply put, the October theory is a call to prepare for the new year with intention, which turns October into a month of assessment, November into a month of goal setting, and December into a month of practice. And by the time January rolls around, you've already been living your resolutions in real life. If used properly, the October theory gives you the time to think about what you really want from the next year, while also freeing you from the pressure of January 1st being the only magical reset date. But here is the twist. It might sound simple on paper, but most people stumble because they miss two basic psychological truths about what actually helps us sustain goals. You might spend October crafting the perfect blueprint in your mind, but if you overlook these truths, your careful strategy will still fall apart by Feb. So before we go deep into the October theory, we need to look at two evidence-based principles that will make sure you get on with your New Year resolution till the end of the year. Principle 1, accept that willpower is a limited resource. People's October stage of planning often comes with a jumpstart feeling, that rush of motivation convincing you that this time you will follow through. But that feeling creates a dangerous illusion. And the interesting part is October is full of highlighters, fresh notebooks, and enthusiasm that makes everything feel possible. It gives you so much drive that you feel ready to conquer everything at once. But then January arrives with long work days, late nights, small disappointments, and suddenly fatigue takes over and it doesn't care how inspired you were when you started. This is called the natural decline of control capacity, which means the slow, invisible drop in your ability to focus and exert willpower over time. In an interesting study led by Christoph Linner and colleagues, followed over 2,000 vocational trainees as they sat through 3 long exams in math and science, each lasting 140 minutes. No matter how smart, disciplined, or prepared they were, everyone's mental sharpness faded as time went on. Their ability to stay focused and apply consistent effort declined, proving that motivation always decays under sustained demand. And here's a twist in the study. Not everyone declined at the same rate. The researchers found two main factors that shaped performance. First being control preparedness, which means how much focus and control someone could have before even starting a task. People who were more organized, structured, self-disciplined types performed better on both counts. They started stronger and held up better under pressure. And second being fatigue resistance, which means how well they could sustain that focus as time dragged on. People who were less emotionally reactive were less likely to stress, overthink, or spiral. They also stayed calmer and handled fatigue better. Intelligence also played a role, but only in getting started, not in maintaining effort when energy dropped. So the real reason here is simple, but not to be taken lightly. Your October theory plan can't just be a burst of motivation written in a notebook. It has to respect the biological limits of your energy and attention. So if you plan your goals as if your future self will always be motivated, you are setting up yourself for disappointment. You have to design your system with fatigue in mind. If you want to write a book, don't expect yourself to write every night after work when you're already drained. Instead, build 20 minutes morning sessions when your focus is naturally higher. If you want to get fitter, don't create a 6-day workout plan in October just because you feel ambitious. Start with 3 days, leaving space for real-life fatigue, work stress, and fluctuation in energy. If explained in one line, the October theory only works when paired with psychological realism. The second principle that will make sure you get on with your New Year resolution till the end of the year is to use the 12-week formula. Many people struggle to put the October theory into practice because they start treating their goals as immovable plans and they plan it for the entire year ahead. That approach can backfire because one simple life change, like what feels important in October, may not feel urgent in March. And yet many people stick stubbornly to their January commitments even when those goals no longer serve them. And that's where the 12-week formula comes in, a concept made popular by productivity strategists who argue that a year is simply too long a horizon for most people to stay focused. So instead of thinking in 12 months, they suggest you think in 12-week cycle. Each cycle becomes its own mini year. Now imagine applying the October theory as your test case for the system. Instead of setting a rigid one-year plan for 2026, you could create 12 weeks goals for the last quarter of this year. These goals should connect to what you think you want next year, whether that's running a half marathon, building your savings, or improving your relationships, but framed in short, testable increments. For example, if your 2026 goal is to exercise more consistently, create a 12-week October to December plan for 3 workouts per week. And that's basically 36 workouts before Jan 1st, which is a much stronger foundation than a shiny but untested New Year resolution. And if your long-term goal is financial discipline, commit to tracking every expenses for 12 weeks. By the time the New Year's Eve rolls around, you already know whether the system works for you or whether it needs adjustments. And here are the 2 biggest advantages of following this approach. First, it grounds your goals in weekly reality, forcing you to check in, reflect, and pivot without losing momentum. Second, it allows you to test not just your goals but your system. By December, you'll know whether the 12-week formula feels liberating or too rigid, giving you a much clearer sense of how to approach 2026. In short, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And you're not only preparing for the next year, you're also experimenting with a proven productivity system, making your October theory journey far more likely to succeed. The video does not end here. I would like to give you a clear idea of how to make your New Year resolution work on 100% using the October theory. In October, assess your life. People often feel a mix of anxiety and motivation as the year nears its end. Very similar to the feeling that comes with a fresh start. It's a time when you naturally reflect on what you've achieved and what's still unfinished. This blend of tension and drive is called eustress, the kind of stress that energizes you instead of holding you back. It's a push that fills you with purpose and movement. So as part of October theory, use these last few days of month to recognize that energy and channel it towards your goals. So first, introspect, think about the year coming to a close. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? The goals you never got to finish, the changes you kept delaying, maybe the resolutions you started but did not stick with. Let those thoughts sink in and then acknowledge. Without judging yourself for getting stuck in regret, write down everything. Don't filter or label them, just be honest to yourself so that you get a clarity about where you are. In November, set your goals. After October reflection, November is the month to bring your goals and dreams back to life. It's a time to turn everything you wrote into something real, structured, specific, and actionable. Here's a simple example. Write each goal on a separate piece of paper and place them in a box or jar. Then one by one, turn each goal into SMART goal. You must have probably heard of the SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Throughout the month, take one goal at a time and reshape it into something concrete. For example, if your goal was to lose weight in 2024, but you never found a rhythm, here's how SMART method gives it shape. Number 1 is be specific. Clarity is power. Instead of saying, I want to lose weight, define how much you want to lose, like 5 kgs, or 10 kgs or 20 kgs. The clearer your goal, the easier it is to visualize and plan for it. For example, if you write, I want to lose 10 pounds, it's not just a statement, it gives your mind a concrete target to aim for. When your goal is specific, it tells your brain exactly where to go. Number 2 is make it measurable. You can't improve what you don't track. Decide how you'll measure your progress daily or weekly weigh-ins, taking body measurements, journaling how you feel, or using a fitness tracker. Having measurable data keeps you accountable and motivated, and you actually get to see the progress, not just feel it. Each small improvement becomes proof that your efforts are working. And then make it achievable. Dream big but build realistically. Set a goal that stretches you but doesn't overwhelm you. If you've never worked out before, don't aim for 2 hours at gym every day. Start with 30-minute sessions a week. Progress builds confidence. An achievable goal fits into your lifestyle, not fights against it. When goals are realistic, consistency follows, and that's what leads to real change. And then be relevant. Ask yourself why this goal matters. What's the deeper reason behind it? Maybe losing weight isn't really about the number on the scale. It's about feeling confident in your skin, having more energy for your day, or improving your long-term health. And when your goals are tied to your personal meaning, you're far more likely to stick with them. Relevance gives your effort emotional fuel. And then make it time-bound. Without a timeline, goals drift. Give yourself a clear window like I'll lose 1 pound per week over 5 months. Deadlines create urgency and focus. They help you plan your actions week by week and they turn motivation into momentum. Time boundaries keep your goals alive instead of leaving them as someday dreams. So now it's December, turning your goals into habits. You've probably heard that it takes 21 days to build a habit. But researchers show that habit formation can take anywhere from 18 to 254 days, with average being around 66 days. That might sound discouraging at first, but it reminds us that habits aren't an overnight switch. They're gradual and they're perfectly okay. Growth takes time and consistency always beats intensity. This is where the power of your SMART goals truly comes alive. When you start working towards your goals regularly, you begin to enter into a flow state where you're fully engaged and challenged by what you're doing. So once December arrives, you're armed with your SMART goals. Aim to enter that flow a little each day. Work on your goals step by step, but slowly, patiently, and most importantly, deliberately. And remind yourself that habits aren't built in 21 perfect days. They're formed through persistence, reflections, and adjustments. Some days you'll move forward faster, other days you'll barely move, but both count. And that's the beauty of it. Embracing a longer timeline reminds you that change isn't a single event, it's a process. And by the time New Year's Day arrives, you won't just be setting resolutions, you'll already be living them. While others are just getting started, you'll be moving forward with momentum, clarity, and quiet confidence. At its core, the October theory isn't about being ahead of the new year. It's about being aligned with it. It's also a reminder that you don't need a calendar to decide when to start changing your life. You just need awareness, structure, and a plan that respects how real humans actually function. So start now, and if this video resonated with you, if you have ever felt like your year slips away before you can even catch it, then use this moment. Grab a notebook or open your notes app, whatever works. Write down where you're right now, what you still want, and what's standing in your way. That's your first October theory ritual. If you want to keep building systems, habits, and clarity around your goals, subscribe and be a part of my journey. Thank you for watching. See you next time.